would you eat your favorite takeaway if it was made in a laboratory?
Do you imagine asking a machine for chicken and the machine doing it for you automatically?
Chicken. Good. Chicken.
Hello guys, this is the Food Inspector. Today we're gonna dive in one of the most expected innovations of the 21st century, the 3D food printing machine. NASA has already been developing a 3D food printing technology since 2009 with the goal of providing astronauts with a sustainable food source during long-duration space missions. Basically, their objective is for them to print themselves whatever food they desire whenever they desire. And what about you? Have you ever imagined the idea of printing food at home? It doesn't look like we're far from it. Let's take a look. First, what is the 3D food printer able to do right now? Let's go back in time. The first standard 3D printer was invented in 1983 by Mr. Chuck. 40 years ago, the first 3D printer looked like this. 30 years later, in 2013, the first 3D food printer burger was created in the Netherlands. It was made from plant-based materials and cost over $300,000 to produce. Today, we are at a stage where we can create customized chocolates, biscuits, pastries, and even sushi. Do you think Mr. Chuck ever imagined someone would be able to print food with his machines? And we have even invented more. A company called BX has developed a 3D pizza printer that can print a pizza in under 4 minutes. We're not far from seeing this happen at home. And not only pizza and sweets, also steak. The first ribeye steak was created by a company called Aleph Farms in 2018. It was made using animal cells, and people who tried it shared that the texture and the flavor of the steak look amazingly real. And you might be wondering, how does it work? Well, the printer uses a process called additive manufacturing, which is basically adding layers upon layers of whichever material you use to create a 3D object. The materials can be chocolate, dough, cheese, and even meat. So the printer reads a digital design file and then prints the food in a certain pattern. Different materials are used for printing different types of food, and the printer can switch between them as needed. So now that we know what has been achieved so far, and we know how the machine works, or at least we're able to explain how the machine works, now let's see, what can we expect from the future? To be honest, we don't really know yet. The possibilities are endless, and the technology is still at its early stages. But 3D food printing technology has the potential to revolutionize the food industry by allowing chefs and consumers to create complex shapes and designs that were previously impossible to make by hand. It can also allow companies to design food prototypes that can later be produced in a larger scale. And not only that, we might be able to use it ourselves at home. Imagine being able to print a complete meal with all the nutrients and vitamins you need, tailored to your specific dietary needs. That future might be closer than you think. Companies or restaurants might even be able to print out some food that is not only delicious but also sustainable and environmentally friendly. As we said before, a 3D printer was already able to print meat out of animal cells. In the future, many other alternatives that have lower carbon footprint and require less water and land might be created. With the help of 3D printing machines, we can create new food shapes and design that not only look good and beautiful, but also help to reduce food waste. Now that I got you a little bit excited about all these things that can happen, is it already available to us? Yes. If you go on Google, you can already buy yourself a 3D food printer. Although the cost is still a little bit high compared to regular 3D printers that you can sometimes find for $200. We are definitely going to see affordable 3D food printers in the market very soon. But in the meantime, let's see what exciting developments we should be attentive at in the future. I'm really excited to see if the NASA is finally able to come out with a Star Trek-like machine that will be able to print astronauts whatever food they want. But that's a little bit more tricky. NASA has to study the reaction on food elements in space. So at a nanomicroscopy level, they have to analyze how the elements react in another atmosphere. It's a bit challenging and requires a very in-depth study. But in order to achieve that, the NASA has to first completely understand how all the molecules in food react in another atmosphere. Another area of research that has been gaining attention is the development of new food materials that are specifically designed for use in 3D food printers. These materials may include edible inks, gels, and powders that can be used to create foods with unique textures and flavors. In conclusion, I would say that the future of 3D food printing machines is exciting and full of possibilities, from printing food for astronauts in space to printing customized meals at home for your entire family. This technology is sure to revolutionize the way we think about food. So let's embrace the future and get ready for a whole new culinary experience. This is the Food Inspector bringing you once again new knowledge, discoveries, and exciting news related to the food industry. Thank you for watching, and remember, drink a lot of water. Don't forget to like the video.